Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk, guys. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, I appreciate your support of the channel. So thanks for coming. Let's talk platoons today. As part of my new guy experience, my EU experience, putting out content for the new guys. Platoons are one of the things you can do in the game that I think makes the game a lot better. I was talking about it a few videos back. When I first started, I platooned quite a bit. And then I really got into grind mode. And the only thing about a platoon that I don't like is sometimes you have to wait, because if you die early, you got to wait for your platoon mate to finish up the game, all that kind of thing. If you're grinding, you want to go from game to game to game to game. Now, if you can throttle back and relax a little bit, then there are a lot of benefits to platoons. First of all, it's two people working together, which is right off the bat going to create a lot better synergy for you, but you've got to do it right. Number two is you're going to get plus 15% credits and experience. And if you're a free-to-play player, then that is huge. An extra 15%. Throw on some personal reserves on top of that. Maybe you're in a clan that's able to put the clan reserves out, and all of a sudden you're starting to approach something like having a premium account. To help you out, make sure you don't lose money, that kind of thing. Make a little bit faster grind, all of that kind of good stuff. So that is the biggest benefit of it. And we're going to talk about platoon tactics because tactically in the game, the benefit is that you have two people working together, which means you can come at different tanks from different angles. You can work together. You can time your shots. You can track guys for the other guy. There's so many little things that you can do in a platoon. So I am here with Nebelhorn, who is also Pilgrim. You may have seen Pilgrim in some of the Sunday coffee talks or in all the coffee talks lately. And he's in his T-43 and I'm in my Tiger. Now let's talk about the types of tanks to pick. One of the reasons we're sort of mismatched here is I'm on my EU account, which is limited, and he's got an account that he bombs around in that's also limited in the number of tanks. Ideally, you would like to take two tanks that either complement each other or basically the same, if not the same tanks. I.e., I'm going to take two heavies or I'm going to take two mediums. If you use a medium and heavy, that's fine. As long as they can work together, that's all good. You can do strange combos and missions sometimes if you're running an arty and you get a buddy that has a scout, or the guy's running a mission as a scout and you're an arty and he needs some spotting damage, that kind of stuff, then you can work together with those. TDs are probably some of the hardest to work together unless they're two assault TDs. If you're going to take two camping TDs, you can put two guns in one spot, but it's a little bit difficult to get that synergy and that motion going, but still, possibility right there. So think about that just a little bit. Number two, once you pick the tanks, decide where to go, try to stay together to the maximum extent possible. You'll notice that we're going to go to generally the same area right here. We get a bit of a push going on down into the beach, and I make a mistake here coming around the corner. Just getting a little bit over aggressive. I think I actually get popped for it, or maybe I don't. There we go. Yep, so the Hellcat hits me. Let's just talk about this spot on this map for just a minute for you new guys. They had a bunch of guys. I mean, look how many guys have been lit. And when I counted those, I said there can't be many left. Well, there was at least one Hellcat unspotted back in here somewhere who just hit me. But I'm lucky the AC-46 and the 122-44 didn't hit me at the same time, because one of them's been spotted, but that was a while ago. One of the scouts made a run. So you have to be careful about this line right here, because look at all this room back here where these TDs can sit, and they're just waiting for you to drive down this road. So I'm going to back out of that. A-44 is thinking about the same thing. And he's not disintegrating, which makes me think that maybe there's not too much down there. And of course, the enemy team reacts pretty well. Here they come. We've got T-20, we've got a 30-45M. Actually have two T-20s. We'll back on out of here. Pilgrim comes in, he takes a little pot shot, and then there's that synergy that we're talking about. I wish I had the comms, unfortunately I don't, but you can see both tanks here working together, and we're discussing, all right, we got this little push with these guys. Holy cow, look what's going on down in the southwest, kind of keeping an eye on it. The other nice thing about having two sets of eyes is if you get sucked into the battle, the other guy has a chance to potentially look at what else is going on and then talk to you and say, look, I'm seeing this on the map, we need to go react to it or take note of it, that kind of thing. So we're trying to figure out how to whittle these guys away right now. This map is a lot about this middle bowl early on, trying to sort out without getting wrecked how to clear them off of, in this case, their ridge, the south ridge. But there's quite a few of them down there, and we're down 2-1, so not too bad so far. These bushes aren't great bushes. And both sides tend to have this problem, especially in a tank that has very little camo like this giant Tiger 1 right here. The only reason I'm able to come up here and not get spotted and seen is doesn't happen to be anybody up in the bushes over here. Even light tanks sometimes can come up and over this, and the bushes just aren't that great. So it looks like a great spot. It can be, but be careful with it. There's also several different angles at which they can see through. Get the 122 over there. And one of those examples is, see where the Hellcat is? If you come up along this edge here and there's somebody over around these buildings, they'll catch the top of your turret, potentially. Or even if they're in one of these bushes here, you can see as he comes up, the top of his turret's going to rise up above where there's no bushes. There's a couple openings here. Some of these bushes are kind of low. This applies to a lot of positions like this in the game with bushes. So just because you're pulling up into a bush doesn't mean you're necessarily protected from being hit. Now look at that. That T-20 just got a little chunk of me. I want you to note, look how much damage that T-20 did. That's a piece of information that I can put in my mind. In fact, I told Pilgrim that that T-20 over there that just hit me is carrying the small 76. He doesn't have the 240 Alpha. Now, there are two T-20s. That's going to be a little hard to keep track of, but that's the kind of information I'm talking about. You let them know things that you see, things that might be important. And I might be willing to come up and take a little shot off of the T-120 that's shooting a 120 Alpha gun at me, rather than maybe come around the corner and get thumped by the 240 Alpha 90mm that the T-20 can also take. Now, that's just game knowledge and knowing the different tanks in the game. Now, see the Hellcat? He just kind of goes up and over. He went right into that opening right there, which means he probably got spotted. Let's see if he gets hit. He's sort of sitting there. He's looking at the IKV. He shoots him. The IKV is dying. Okay, so apparently it didn't matter too much because either he wasn't seen. I don't know. Maybe that tree went down and protected him. That's also possible. Now we're going to react to what's going on. Now this was the discussion we had right there. Uh-oh, what's going on in the south? We got to deal with this south push down here. So we're going to head off this way. Now we do split up here a little bit, and I think Pilgrim's coming back my way here in just a moment. But he's dealing with the Type 64. We said, see if you can clean him up. I'm going to come down here and see what I can do about these heavies. If I can pin them down into this pit and not get shot from behind, which is what it's looking like might happen. And this is a case where we split up, right? So instead of both of us going the same way, he was dealing with that. I needed to come down here as the heavy and deal with this. And that's a point where you can go, okay, well, it's not ideal. We'd like to keep our platoon together, but we're not going to worry about it. We're going to go ahead and just deal with the problems that we can handle separately for the moment. We got 3 guys pinned down here. We have the high ground. These guys are kind of in trouble. They're not in really good position. We take the KV-85. This is why you don't go to the beach, guys. I mean, yeah, they won the push, and they've got a good chunk of tanks down there, but look at them getting shredded trying to climb out of the low ground. It's 6-6. Our Hellcat's engaged with the Su-100, who's, I think he's going to lose that pretty quickly. I'm checking 6 because what I'm worried about is obviously these guys coming in behind, but I have just enough. And one thing about platoons is because I know Pilgrim is over there, I can ask him, hey, what's going on behind me? And he can kind of give me a quick view rather than me being completely worried about it. And I am exposed to being attacked from behind, but I've got some SA from Pilgrim on what's going on right here. So it's a little more comfortable. Now, I don't carry gold on this tank, so I've got to really aim in on those little machine gun whatever turrets right there. Now we got the Su-100 coming down on me. We got to get rid of him. I can't sit there and let him shoot me. Look at this, and now it's going south a little bit. We're 8-10. And now Pilgrim's telling me, all right, we cleared that up. So we know the 122-44 and the Hellcat are still loose. The rest of them we have pinned down over here. And he's going to start moving this way pretty quickly. Here he comes. So he says, hey, I'm on my way. I'm like, all right, I've got these 2 guys. Give me a different angle. He started saying, all right, I'm going to go take care of the 100. All right, so yeah, the 100's a problem. And he's going to head over there and try to deal with that guy. And that's the discussion we had. I'm in a crossfire. I need to get down there and shoot these guys down the pit, but I got a problem with the Su-100. I need to get rid of this guy. I actually may do it here. I don't remember if I hit him. No. So he backs out. The AC is moving in. Get a shot on him. He actually does a really nice job snapping me right there with that little turn into me. The good news about this TD is this is not the autoloader. The autoloader version starts at tier 8, so that's a single shot TD. We can take him down. His armor is decent, but when I'm looked down, I'm really flat plating that front armor, right? If I'm looking at him straight at him, it's pretty angled, but once I start climbing up in altitude, now I'm looking at a flat plate. That's much easier for this tank to pin. Now I have to decide which one of these guys I'm going to go after. I go after the Eagle, and I shoot right into the ground. There you go. That's the crossfire I'm talking about. That was Pilgrim, who took care of the 100. I don't know if he got it or someone else did, but in any event, going over there, got rid of it, comes across. Now we got a crossfire. Now we're attacking these guys from 2 different directions. And this is what you want with a platoon. Talk about how are we going to deal with this together. And we're also talking right now, the Su-122-44 and the Hellcat, they have to be close to coming in. And there's the 122-44 who's kind of made a mistake. He just stayed back there. He's sitting at the cap. I mean, if he'd have come in earlier and helped, it would have been really bad for us, I think. I'm going to make a move down here to try to get rid of the OI. Come in behind him, put one shot. Pilgrim and I are discussing it. Pilgrim doesn't want to get derped. I try to track him. Pilgrim takes him down. And that's the discussion. Now we're going to double team this Eagle 7. Pilgrim's moving up to the other side. And we'll just talk about it. At that point, then you're timing it, right? You look at it. One guy pops and shoots. If the Eagle 7 shoots at him, then you've got a free opportunity to come out. And then you can get inside the reload, so he gets that shot. I take a bad shot right there. We'll fix the gun. I got to work the angles. There you go. Pilgrim's taking a little chunk of him. There we go. Checking Pilgrim. We're talking about it. He's got a shot. See how the Eagle 7's turret is looking at me? That gives Pilgrim an opportunity to get in there and take a shot. Then he moves his turret over to Pilgrim. I'll come out and shoot him. Moves his turret back to me. This is very frustrating when you're that tank. The Eagle 7. It's very frustrating, especially if and I can see that a lot when I'm playing solo and I see a platoon come in and start working me. I'm like, I know how this is going to go. As soon as I turn my turret to try to get one guy, the other one's going to pop out and take the shot if they're doing it right. He's just staring at me, so Pilgrim's going to say, okay, I'll just come in and be about it. Oh, there he goes. So he fires. He immediately eats a shot from Pilgrim and then gets killed by me. All right. We cleaned that up. Now we're talking about it. Initially, we were like, well, should we go down low? And I said, no, let's go up into the bowl and try to work this. We still have a scout. As long as that T-50-2 can keep himself alive, then that is a huge advantage for us. They have 2 TDs. We have a pretty good gun on the Tiger. We've got a derp. On the old T-43, where did Pilgrim go? There he goes. He was talking about going that way, and I convinced him to come back. That's a discussion that you have as a platoon. He started going that way. He said, hey, I'll go that way, you go up north. I said, no, let's stick together on this one. And I would generally say that's the better idea with a platoon, is just stick together. There are situations where you can split up. I just didn't feel like this was it. I'd like to keep all 3 of us together. The 122-44, both those tanks are pretty dangerous, the Hellcat and the 122-44, especially considering the camo that you've got to deal with. What I want to do is get up into the bowl and then get to the south edge of the bowl, but I'm curious if I'm going to get spotted right here. There's one of them already sitting up in those bushes, so that's why I just kind of creep up and go, do I get my 6th sense cooking? It doesn't. I see the T-50-2's gone around the corner. Still no light. Pilgrim is up in the bush. He doesn't see anything. The T-50-2's pushing in, and now we go. So that's all worked. Even with the T-50-2 not being in the platoon, I can tell what he's doing based on the way he's playing, and that's good. Because he's kind of doing what I would expect him to do. He's looking for us. He's not YOLOing out in front. He's sticking with us, being our eyes, being an extra gun. I didn't like him highlighting himself on that ridge without using the bushes. I thought that was a bit of a dangerous approach, but made it happen. And then we find the 122-44, who is AFK, you guys. So that would explain what was going on with him. He was not in the game. That could have very well changed the game had that guy been forward. But you play the game you got, right? Not the one you wanted or the one you expected. This is a problem I have quite a bit in this game, is I will try to force that square peg into the round hole. I have a good idea of what the high percentage plays are, and if I don't see them, then sometimes I still attempt to stuff the square peg into the round hole. And what you've got to do is play the game you are given, play the match anyway you are given, and not the one you think it should be. Pilgrim goes in. I think he's going to nuke this guy. There we go. Drops him with the old HE round. 4,390. 4 kills for myself. 5 for Nebelhorn / Pilgrim right there. And just a discussion for you guys on why you might want a platoon and what the benefit of it is, both in the game and for experience and credits. And really, at the end of the day, it's a lot of fun, right? We get on voice comms, we're on Discord, we have a chat, we talk about life, this, that, and the other. We play some games, and I think it just makes it a lot better overall. It really does. There is a time for just solo grinding and kind of doing your thing, but if you haven't tried platooning, get a friend. I know that's a problem for some of us. I hear you. I don't have a whole bunch of them, but I got a couple good ones, and some of them even play tanks and we can platoon, right? All right, that is what I've got for today. Thanks for everybody coming by and checking out the video, supporting the channel, all that good stuff. If you're looking for other ways to do so, you can find those down in the description. See ya.